Vladar nearing a return to action, Sean Couturier getting some rest on Tuesday, and Bobby Brink talks his return from his injury. I'm Charlie O'Connor with PHLY Sports and PHLY Flyers, and these are your Flyers post-practice notes from Salt Lake City, Utah. The Flyers finally got a win on Monday night against the Vegas Golden Knights in Las Vegas, halting their 6-game losing streak and beating one of the best teams in hockey. Now, Travis Konecny led the way offensively. He scored both Flyers goals in the 2-1 victory. But the other hero of the game was goaltender Sam Ersson, who shook off what's been a horrid month and an overall very disappointing season to deliver a really strong performance in net for the Flyers. Now, Ersson's been forced to take most of the load over the last week because of the injury that starting goalie Dan Vladar suffered last Wednesday in Buffalo. And when Vladar suffered the injury, it was unclear how much time he would miss. Some people worried he might miss weeks, maybe even months, maybe not be available for even the Olympics for Team Czechia. Well, it does look like Vladar's injury is not that severe, and he actually might be back in the Flyers lineup and back between the pipes for the Flyers relatively soon, if today was any indication. So while the Flyers skated on a separate sheet of ice today at the new Utah Mammoth practice facility just outside of Salt Lake City, Vladar was on the secondary surface, working by himself with the coach, just basically doing his movements, trying to seemingly test the injury and shake off any residual effects. He did that for quite a while. Now, at the end of the main practice, Vladar actually did come over to the main rink. He didn't really participate in any serious activities. He mostly just chatted at center ice with Flyers goalie coach Kim Dillaball, interacted with some of his teammates, but presumably, if his solo session didn't go well, he wouldn't have come over to the main ice. The fact that he did does seem like a good sign. Now, what does this mean in terms of Vladar's availability? Well, a source told me on Tuesday that if Vladar had his way, he might try to come back for Wednesday's game against the Utah Mammoth. The Flyers, however, they're not going to let that happen. They want to give him at least a few more extra days. But that just speaks to just how good Vladar is feeling. He feels like he is very much on the road to returning to the pipes. So when will Vladar come back? Seems like Friday against the Colorado Avalanche is a legitimate possibility. If not, he could be back for that first game of their return back to Philadelphia on Monday when they play the New York Islanders. The Flyers did have another mild injury scare today. Sean Couturier did not skate with the rest of his teammates today at practice. He was the only absence. Now, obviously, given Sean Couturier's back surgeries in his history, his advancing age, there's always concerns that he could be banged up. And because Couturier was out, the Flyers actually juggled the lines a little bit. Most of the lines were pretty much what they were on Monday against the Golden Knights, which makes sense. The Flyers got to win in that game. Don't want to shake things up too much. But with Couturier not on the ice, Cutter Gauthier actually played the center position on a line with Denver Barkey and Owen Tippett, Couturier's usual line mates. Now, there was essentially zero chance that Nikita Grabankin was going to play center on a line in a game. So it seemed like he was probably a placeholder for Couturier, and Couturier was still going to be expected to play in Wednesday's game against the Mammoth. And after practice, we got confirmation that that very much appears to be the case from Flyers head coach Rick Tocchet. Tocchet actually has been saying over the past few days that he feels like Couturier may be starting to get a bit tired, maybe wearing down a bit. He mentioned on Sunday that he needed to probably do a better job of managing Couturier's minutes. Tocchet said today after practice, that's all this was. It was a maintenance day. He just feels like Couturier could benefit from getting some time off the ice just by managing his energy a little bit better, so he has a little bit more jump in games. Couturier's only got 5 goals this year, so he's definitely suffering probably from a little bit of lack of energy. Maybe this gives him a little bit of boost for Wednesday's game. Another injury tidbit, Bobby Brink did return to action on Monday against the Vegas Golden Knights. He had missed the previous 6 games. All 6 of those games were losses. So Brink played against the Golden Knights and certainly had his moments. He had one really nice chance, a rush down ice that he skied over Adin Hill, but he was playing with speed, playing with jump. We got a chance for the first time since his injury to talk to Bobby Brink after practice today. We've gotten to know Bobby Brink a lot over these last few years. He's a pretty forthcoming guy. He doesn't hold things back. He's willing to showcase his emotions when he talks to the media. And today was no different. He actually opened up about the injury, said it was indeed a concussion, same injury that Jamie Drysdale, his teammate, suffered in that game against Anaheim last week. Said it just took him a little bit longer than it did Jamie Drysdale to get over all the symptoms, but he feels good now, and he's excited to get back on track to helping the Flyers put this losing streak behind them. Well, that's all I have for you for today's edition of Flyers Post Practice Notes. I'm Charlie O'Connor, PHLY Flyers, PHLY Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.